somebody tonight. I've tried all I could. Have you ever been there? Seems like nothing did me any good. Like God, then I heard Jesus, he was passing by. Then I decided, like God, to give him a try. Say, oh, it is Jesus. Yes, it is. Ooh, yeah. It's Jesus in my soul. For I have touched the hem of his garment. Ooh, yeah. And his blood yeah. Oh, it is Jesus, say. Oh, it is Jesus. Yes, it is Jesus. It's Jesus. It's Jesus in my soul. For I have touched the hem. For I have touched the hem. The hem of his garment. The hem of his garment. The hem. He's a healer. He's a keeper. For I hem of his garment, and his blood has made me whole. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Amen. Jesus, you are all. I'll make room for two. You and I, Jesus. Yes, you are all. Yes, you are all. Away. You are all. You are all.
indeed, and a good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Yeah, I know yeah. Let me fix it one time. Yeah, let me sort that out one time for you, and let me fix that there. No, you come back right there, nice. And let me sort this out here, so nice. And let me make sure, because folks, the only time I can really hear properly, to be sure that my voice is coming through clearly and everything, is when I've actually started. So yeah, that's why sometimes you realize I have to test it when I think it should be pretty okay there with not too much of the echo coming back in the background. I think it should be pretty much okay about there. Yes. So good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 15 minutes, wow, 15 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. And indeed, we say a special good night to our listeners out there in Carriacou and, of course, the people of Petit Martinique. Those of you listening via the Grenadine Islands, we say a special good night to you and the rest of the Caribbean. Those of you listening in St. Vincent, my good friend out in Union Island. Girlfriend, give your boy a shout out. So my good friends out there in Bakeway, Union Island, all of the islands going up the chain, we say a special good night to you, main island, St. Vincent. Those of you who are listening via St. Kitts and Nevis, those of you in Antigua, Dominica, and we haven't mentioned something about Dominica a little later, we haven't mentioned something about Dominica. Also, those of you listening in St. Lucia, Sandra, yeah, out there in St. Lucia, we say a special good night to Sandra. Inbox me, nice, right? And those of you listening in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Joyce, we know it is election time down there, so we know, yeah, Joyce kind of being Joyce, right? No, Joyce deep in the politics down there in Trinidad, as their election is in, I think, roughly about 2 weeks' time, yeah. Their election is the 28th. The 28th is how far from now? The 28th is week after, yeah. So they have under 2 weeks to their general election in Trinidad. And, the People's National Movement going up against the United National Congress. I'm making no guess on this one. That Trinidad election, this Trinidad election is a difficult one to gauge. I'll say that again. This Trinidad election is a difficult one to gauge. I don't want to just say one side or the other in this instance. It is a difficult one to gauge. Let me see, I'm sending some information to myself over here. Nice. And folks, the phone lines are open. Yes, the phone lines are open. You can give us a call on 440-7377. That's the WhatsApp number. You have to WhatsApp call us, right? Yeah, so save the number to your phone, put a 1473 like if you're calling from overseas. Nice. And send that message to us so that we can take your calls. All right, and let me just make sure, because I find this computer acting kind of funny. I'm trying to send something to myself there, and he operated in a kind of manner, most unbecoming. Yeah. Well, let me try sending it otherwise. Yeah, folks. So 440-737-7347-329-3101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside. And first of all, let me give you all some reminders. Yeah, the medical mission. Yeah, the AOJA. Yeah, Eyes on Grenada 2025 free eye clinic. Free. Yes, folks, it is free. And tomorrow is the final day. Today is the 16th. Tomorrow is the final day. If you were unable to go today, you need to go tomorrow. Now they start at 9 a.m. I would advise, take my advice, don't go 9. Make sure you're there after 7. Get your space. All you will say, I say, make sure you get there in time and that you get yourselves signed up so that you could get in to see the doctor and so on. Don't go all 10, 11. Say, well, I'm going around 10, 11, they say 9. No, you're going to find yourself in the back of a line of a couple hundred persons, and the likelihood of you being able to get through may be less the later you go. So it starts at 9 a.m. It completes at 3 p.m. Again, I would advise that those of you that can go, and it's taking place down at the youth center, down at the youth center in Montrouge, right, go on down there and get your eyes checked out. Nice? Yeah, it is important that you do that. go and get your eyes checked out. All right? And what's the matter with this thing? Behave yourself. Why are you behaving like that? Yeah, behave yourself. Come on, behave yourself. Why are you acting like that? No. Right, I think that fixed that problem. Yeah, let me see if it fixed that problem. Yeah, I think it did fix that problem. So yes, folks. So they're doing. Let me put it back here for you. Yeah, let me just put this back here for you. They're doing free eye exams. They're giving eye medications. They're doing reading glasses and so on. So you can go on out there and get your eyes checked out. Again, tomorrow is the last day. Tomorrow is the last day. So go on out and have your eyes checked out. Yeah. Don't end up like me and see me with big glasses in my eye and all kind of thing. My goodness, yeah. So yes, remember tomorrow 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Folks, also remember the New York support group of the New National Party. They've got their brunch, and that is coming up on Sunday the 27th. Yeah, the day before Trinidad elections. Yes. So Trinidad elections is the Monday, the brunch is the Sunday. So Trinidadians in the New York area, those of you who are in the New York area and you're not going home and vote, yeah, make sure that you head over to the New National Party brunch and thing. Yeah, you're coming and support a good party. Nice. And they're going to have various West Indian food. We know, a little like Grenadian food, we know. So come on out. They've got different types of West Indian food, music, dance. You're going to hear some Grenadian music and that sort of thing. And it starts from 10 a.m. until you say when. And it's taking place at 302 East 91st Street between Lenox and Clarkson Avenue. For a small donation, it's only $30. Music by DJs Jude and Small Clothes. And for tickets, you can contact Kathy at 347-262-6818, Wendy at 917-602-1476, and Aisha at 917-520-3164. So that is the New National Party support group in New York. They are having their annual brunch from 10 a.m. until you say when. Remember, that's taking place on Sunday, April 27th, 2025, 302 East 91st Street between Lenox and Clarkson Avenue for a small donation of only $30. The St. George Northeast New National Party Women's Group, them women in that constituency always active. They have their sauce sale, chicken foot and pig foot sauce. Watch thing. We papa. Yes, man, from 6:30 a.m. and that is taking place on Saturday, May the 3rd. Not this Saturday, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. Yeah? So not this Saturday, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. So them pig and them maybe they're still alive, they ain't gone yet. Them fowl and them alive, they ain't gone yet. Right? But they're going to be having pig foot sauce and they're having chicken foot sauce. And also they're going to be having a raffle, and that's going to be taking place at Nick's shop in Bolio. So head on out to that one if you can. Right? So that's going to be taking place at Nick's shop. You know, Nick's shop, just before you reach Snow Corner, just before you reach the junction there, yeah, on the right hand side. If you're coming from town on the right hand side, you'll see all the fellas and them lining by Nick and thing, they man. Check out Nick's shop in Bolio. Tell him sheldon send you. Alright, nice. So that's taking place not this Saturday, not next Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 3rd of May. And it starts from 6:30 a.m. So you got to get out there early. You bus drivers in the area, yeah, and you folks who are heading to work early, you could always pass and get your sauce. And then those of you that might be coming back from nightly activities, your party and all kind of thing, yeah, pass and get your chicken foot sauce. And so at the New National Party Women's Group, Northeast St. George, they've got it going on, yeah. And also International Jazz Day. You know, some countries have jazz festivals and different things, and we have Rastakari. Yeah, so Rastakari and Friends and Project Music, they are having the International Jazz Day that is taking place on Wednesday, April 30th from 6 p.m. at Bay House in Shannon Glade. That's the day before the holiday. Remember the day before May Day? Right, April 30th. That's a nice day. April 30th, the day before May Day. So yeah, you don't have to worry about going to work the next day unless you're going on March, and so you don't have to worry about that. So it's celebrating International Jazz Day, April 30th from 6 p.m. at Bay House in Jean Anglais with Rasta Carrie and friends. Head on out to that one, yeah. And let me see, remember the vacancy. I ain't hear that the vacancy filled, so I'm still telling all you about it, right? 403-4421. They're looking for a person who can do braids and natural hair and so. And they're also looking for a nail technician who can do gels and different things. So 403-4421. Give that number a call. Don't be lucky and coward, you know. That's what Peter said. Don't be lucky and coward. Also, folks, we have young Kellyanna George, and she has been diagnosed with cancer. She has received the first round of treatment. She has to travel again to get her next round of treatment. And you can donate at Corp Bank in the name of Kelly George, account number 1070635547. Let me give you that Corp Bank account number again, 107063547. And the Nexa Credit Union in the name Meliane Francois at 221553-10-0. Again, Meliane Francois, the Nexa Credit Union at 221553-10-0. Alright folks, so yeah, that's just some of our announcements for tonight. There's one with a dog, and I'm trying to get it to come over to the machine, but for some reason it's giving a problem. It's a dog that was stolen in Telescope on Sunday. Somebody steal the people dog, a nice black and brown dog. It answers to the name Duke, right? And it was actually the dog was in the people veranda chain up, and somebody went there and take the dog. I'm trying to get the picture over to the other machine. I have to get it off of one machine to the next machine, but it's giving me an error for some reason. So I'll get that up, so at least possibly we'd be able to help the person. You might see somebody with a dog. Yeah, I like animals, and that's not a nice thing. You go and take the people dog. And yeah, folks, you go find out always advertising and trying to help different people. I try as much as possible. And here's another worthy cause. It is a young man. He had a fever, and that fever damaged his brain. So since then, he has been damaged, yeah? So his mother has this GoFundMe running. I'll post let me just get this here, nice. So I'll copy that. I'll put it into the thing here. Yeah, let me put it here one time. Nice. I'll post it into here so that you all will be able to get it. Nice. So I will make sure and I will put it in there so that you all are able to get it. Nice. So folks, yeah, and let me just tell you exactly what is taking place with that young man. Yeah. It says here, hi everyone, my name is Corinne Daniel. I am here kindly asking for your assistance so that I can help my impaired son, Mark Daniel, so that I can seek his immediate medical attendance. I will highly appreciate and be thankful for anything you can afford to bless him with, as you all give him lovingly from your hearts and give him the opportunity to live normally again. He had a fever that caused severe damage to his brain and almost claimed his life, leaving him almost disabled. I quit my job of 5 years to be closer and also to take care of him at this time. It's gotten so tough for me that I'm unable to pay his medical bills due to me leaving my job to care for him. At this moment, Mark is trying hard not to let his illness stop him by still trying to press on. Thank you, one and all, for your generosity. May you always be blessed as you share and walk this journey with us. May God continue to bless and keep you all. Yeah? So that is, that is the story of Mark. And as I said, I'm going to post it. While I'm saying that, let me post it one time. Yeah, I'm going to post the link to that GoFundMe in the chat on both YouTube and Facebook. I'm doing it now as I'm saying that so that I don't forget. Yeah. So, yeah, this young man needs our help. You know how to try and help. Yeah, let's try and help. But folks, we need the donations ourselves too. We also need the donations You're hearing what's going on in Studio 2. We're doing some work here so that we could operate from both Studio 1 and Studio 2. So whether it's $5, $10, $20, whatever it is that you can give, it is going to help us to reach our final goal of making sure that we're operating perfectly once again. All right, so whether it's 5, 10, 20, whatever it is, and plus we do have software that we pay for on a yearly basis, and it's due to pay for those. So those of you that can donate, whatever you can donate, the link is there for the donation, the GoToFet link. Those of you, some of you know how to use it. There's one particular individual, well, about 2 or 3 individuals that on a monthly basis, whatever it is they can send, they make sure and they send it. So whatever it is that you can send, make sure that you do send so that we can get our work done. Again, the phone number 4407377 on the WhatsApp, that is, so that you can call us, and just giving you all the opportunity to call in now. Yeah.
Ready or not, glory. Jesus is coming. Ready or not, He's coming again. Ready or not, woo. Jesus is coming. Ready or not, He's coming again. Jesus is coming soon. Morning.
Let me just make sure. I saw someone was saying that they weren't hearing. Just let me know if you all have been here. In fact, I'd have seen more messages if you all weren't hearing. Probably that person had an error with their device. Let me just double check the messages here. All right, I think that was just one person. They probably had a little error with their device. And let me say a special good night to all of you joining us on the YouTube tonight. Errol Bonaparte, Maud Martin, Listra Abraham, Kathleen Nedlow, Francis George, Agnes Henry, Moko Bin, and Moko Joseph, Vanessa Lalji, Fitzroy Phillip, Janice Mitchell, Gillian Noel, Adrian Watts, and your lovely wife as usual, Gemma Warwood, Deborah Seals, Faithlyn Halley Douglas, Cindy Thomas, Good Life, Rosalind Jones, Carib Spice Fitness, John Stafford, Deborah Laborde, Cynthia Bartholomew, Phyllis Mitchell, Anna Lewis, Jackie Raymond, Raphael B. Jr. Williams, Kathleen Knights, I see you in the house, Dalma Scott, Deborah Flanders, good night to you, Joyce Lewis, good night, Byron Frank, Sean Lewis, Jerome Kenneth Lewis, the whole Lewis clan listening boy, Christine Otley, Shajan John, good night, Velma Pascal, Magdalene Henry, J.C. Sherry, Veronica Alexander, Deborah Laborde, Anastasia Buckmeyer, Gloria Francois, good night to you, Rodney Barry, Sherma Jeremiah, good night to you, and the lovely Zayla. Well, school closed for now, so I know Zayla up a little later than normal. Bernadette Joseph, Salam, I see you in the mix. Ruth Chitterman, Jocelyn Matheson, Gillian Williams, Marilyn Panchu, Stephanie John, good night to you and the home circle. April Fletcher, Andrea Alexander, Joycelyn Francois, Sky, Willie, and I see the Dalton Strawn, Connie Tompkins, Jenny Samuel, Leron Batiste, I know I want to say Leron, Oswald Belfort, Vero Wellington, good night to all of you. Let me see who is on the Facebook tonight. And on the Facebook we've got Linda Imelda Francois, good night to you. Teresa Gill, John Ma, James Arnold, Errol Bonaparte, Joe Ad, good night. Betty James, Evelyn Narayan, Cynthia B, Nesta St. Clair, Merrill George, Wendy and C. McGuire, Nursey, good night to you. Cynthia Collins, Enoch Bain, Wallan Aquat, Esther Peters, Sherms Houston, Andre Noel, Sweet Empress Cyrus, Lucy King, good night to you. Gillian Prescott, Veronica Bailey, Martin Charles, Lorna Williams, good night. Laslyn Douglas, Latoya McGuire, good night. And Veronica Bailey, I see Laslyn Douglas there. I see Patrick Roberts, Charmaine Ragbasing, Alistair Simon, Betty Marie Ventor, McLean Mitchell, Lynn Joseph, Alcia Joseph, Joan Henry, Oliver McEwen, Teresa Collymore, Winnie Simon, Yvonne Courtney, good night. Kathy Pope, good night to you. Shirley Lacrette. So we say a special good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube, all of you joining us via the Facebook. I believe the website itself might be down right now, yeah, so I'm not too sure they're going to get us on the website, yeah? Yes, and I think we've got a call. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Hello. Oh boy, and they hung up. Yeah, caller, you got through, you know. Yeah, give us a call back. Give us a call back. Oh, and they called before as well. Hey, caller, give us a call back. Yeah, 440-7377-34732. No, I really had to stop calling that number. But you see the number there. All right, folks, and as I said, don't forget the go to Fed. Yeah, we need to work out some stuff there. Also, yeah, and we go to the phone line. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sharon Scott.
Hey, welcome, Papa.
Good.
Yeah, man, you go right ahead.
I wanted to come. I was over the ID.
Okay, so
I
hold,
I
hold on.
heard a second.
Hold on. For some reason, you're songing good as you start off, and then you start the song real bad. I don't know if it's your signal or what it is.
Okay.
Now you start the song proper again. Go ahead.
I see. I'm gonna add my ID yet, so I'm gonna add my ID. So if I'm saying this side,
You are not registered to vote yet?
I was trying to put last year. Last
Okay.
time I got put. I went to I got get my ID.
Wow. We're not hearing you at all. I can tell you the listeners aren't hearing what
I
you're saying.
see. I
Okay, see, just
gotta
hold
get
on,
my ID.
Hold on. Whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
keep the phone to your mouth. Don't move it from there. And go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I see. I gotta add my ID.
Mm-hmm.
To register. So I don't want that time pass me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my friend.
But night to call me.
Yes, man. The big Miss Cammy was even her own special. I was giving her a look at time.
Okay.
Yes, man. You have a good one.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
too.
All right. Yes, indeed, folks. So yeah. So when it comes to that particular one, he was saying he's about the ID and so on. Let me just make sure that I'm understanding, because for some reason wherever he was, I wasn't hearing him clearly. And if I'm not hearing him clearly, I'm absolutely positive you all probably heard not a word that he said. He was speaking about he's registered since last year, but he has to get his ID. Folks, once your name is on the voters list, once you have been registered, you see the list comes out and your name is on the voters list, with or without an ID, when elections come, you can vote. You cannot be stopped from voting because you don't have your ID. Yeah? You could you could swear an affirmation or whatever, you could do that there. They would swear you in, and the people who are there are usually people, well, not usually, they're supposed to be people from the community who would recognize who you are. So the ID is just to confirm, but the people who are there are usually people who should recognize. The representatives of the different parties could confirm, yes, that is Sheldon Scott. Yeah? So they should be able to confirm and so on. It is better to have your ID or some form of identification. If you don't have your voter's card, at least have some other form of identification. It makes life easier. But you cannot be stopped from voting if you do not have a voter's ID. You can be stopped from voting if your name is not on the list. That's the qualifying thing. And we have a call on the line. Hello, good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night.
Hello.
Hi, night.
Yes, I'm from the UK, and I just want to ask you a question, really.
No problem.
I don't know, right. When your Prime Minister goes to abroad and he spent a lot of money, do you know how much, can you get information on how much he spent and everything else?
We have attempted to do that through the Parliament, and that information has not been forthcoming. From what I believe, the questions have been resubmitted for question time in Parliament. Similar to what takes place in Westminster when they have question time. It's not the same format, but you can submit questions in relation to things. The former Prime Minister, former Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Mitchell, has submitted questions in relation to not just the Prime Minister's travel, but all travel by all ministers and delegations and so on for that details,
Right, so
but they've never been given.
yeah. Right. So how much has he actually spent um, last year? It was about $8 million, wasn't it?
It was $2 million over budget between transportation and what was the other
So
thing?
when he goes to Dubai, just an example, right? Do you know how much it costs for him to spend at a hotel?
We do not have that
Because,
direct information, but it is information that I would agree with you that we need to obtain.
well, to put it this way, when he goes traveling and he travels a lot, because I'm, I'm English. Okay, I'm not Canadian. Okay,
No problem.
I know for a fact that when he travels to Dubai or Saudi Arabia or Qatar, okay, the hotels over there are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. So when he goes to, um, a, like to Dubai, just an example, he will then stay at a hotel, and the whole floor is actually booked for him and his entourage. On those prices on the hotels, they're all between the 5 and 7 star hotels. So spending nearly $8 million to travel, and he's going first class, completely first class. When he came to London, he's staying at top hotels. But I know for a fact that when he goes to Dubai, the average price per night is roughly between $6,000 and $12,000 per night.
Wow.
I know for a fact that he spent a lot of money on, well, the taxpayers' money going to Dubai and spending that kind of money on hotels. All right. And take my word for it, I know 100% that the prices in Dubai is very expensive. There's no cheap. It's not like a bed and breakfast price. So I'm not being, can I put it to you, being horrible or anything like that, but he's literally taking the mick, because I know for a fact that when he travels, it's all first class. So your countrymen don't really understand and realise that how much he's actually spending. Because over here and in America and other countries, you get the Freedom Act, so you can ask. We spend £35 to get the information from the government to say MPs how much they spend, how much they do, and whatever. But in your country, it seems you don't have that information. But I tell you now that when he actually goes to Dubai, and I know for a fact, because I've lived in Dubai for 7 years, and other reasons as well, but I can't really say. But I know for a fact that he goes to the posh hotels. So he doesn't stay at, the Prime Minister's
Not a 3 star or four.
home and all that.
Not a 3 star or 4 star. He goes to the 5 star and
They
6 star.
put it this way: there's no 2 star or 3 star hotels in Dubai.
Wow.
All right, I know that for a fact. All right, and I'm telling you now that when he travels to Dubai, it's always first class. Secondly, when he gets there, all the hotels are literally 7 star hotels. That's between six to $12,000 in your money each night, and it can go up even further. On average, if you work it out on the UK price, you're talking between 2,000 to 3 or 4,000 per night. So that's a lot of money. So what he's actually spending, because they don't have cheap hotels over there. And I know 100% that all hotels are between 5 and 7 star hotels. So he's literally milking the system.
Wow.
Because put it this way, I know for a fact, especially in Dubai, because I was how can I do it? I was married to one of the into one of the big families over there, so I know for a fact that when a dignitary goes to Dubai, he stays at the top hotel, and that's a 7-star hotel. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm English. Okay, I follow you and your country because I love your country and I've got friends and family over there. I think your countrymen don't understand what he's actually doing. He's getting into bed with Saudi Arabia, China, all these countries who've got bad human rights. So he's looking for money. I've got nothing against him. I don't even know the gentleman, but I don't like. It's like all MPs are in government. They like milking the system. Same over here. They get paid £100,000, near enough £100,000 per year. Plus, they get all the expenses, and literally they put expenses in for if they got a house or they might have two houses, they get expenses for petrol and dog houses or duck houses or ponds or whatever they want to get. They take it from the taxpayer. So you're paying for his joints to go over to other countries, and he's literally, spending $8 million, near enough. That's a lot of money in 1 year just for travelling. So you think about what you a lot are spending, what he's spending. He says your taxpayers' money. So that $8 million should be going for your private health, your healthcare, and helping the poor and the disabled and stuff like that. But the geezer is going to Dubai and living up luxury. But I'm telling you now that when he goes to places like that, Saudi Arabia, anywhere in the Middle East, there is no way you can get we call it travel lodge over here, £50 a night. It don't work that way. He's going to top hotels. When he came to London, right, to go and see the Prime Minister and the King, right, he was at a top hotel. I can guarantee you, he wouldn't have gone to the High Commission in London and spent a night over there, or Checkers or anything like that. He goes to the top hotel. So, I know that I'm not being horrible or anything like that.
No, and
But I follow
need to say
Grenada. I
that.
follow Grenada more, and I do my own country
No,
because I
I
love
need
your
to say,
country.
I need to say though that I think a lot of folks are glad, and I'm getting the messages from different people, and they're very, very glad that someone who has spent time in these places, who knows for a fact what the costing is like, is saying to the Grenadian people, hey, I have no
Right. Well,
horse in
okay.
this
Well,
race,
all
but
right.
this is the situation. This is what is happening here.
Right, well, put it this way: coming into London, an average night, he will maybe have spent a night in the Ritz or the Savoy. You're talking £200 to £300 per night. So in Dubai, you're talking on average, uh, well, as I say, between $6,000 and $12,000 EC money each night. It could even be higher. Some hotel rooms or suites, they call it, you're talking £30,000 a night. So for an MP to spend $8 million, that is outrageous. And I know that even my prime minister wouldn't spend that. And when your prime minister goes jointing, he does private jets. All right, some of our MPs, it's been caught out using private jets to just go to travel in the UK, and they spent £250,000, £250, to £250,000. So when your prime minister travels, it's first class all the way, all the way. He would not go on the plane and sit in economy. It's first class. An average first class is about £2,000 on average. All right. So if I came from London to Grenada and went first class, you're talking roughly between £1,500 to £2,000 per flight. So when he travels to Dubai, it's first class 100%, and it's average between £6,000 and £12,000 per night. That is the cheapest, and it goes right up to £20,000 a night. So, and then when he does have his entourage, he books a whole floor. So it's not here or there. He has everybody. So you think about $8 million. I mean, if our prime minister spent that, we'll go up in arms, mate. Trust me. But I know I follow your country very, very much. You know, and I think your country is being, how can I put it to you? Your countrymen are being the wool pulled over their eyes. As the old saying goes, right? One of our going back a few years ago, I think it was Margaret Thatcher and someone else, and I don't know if you know, there's a program called Spitting Image, and Spitting Image did a
I
little.
love Spitting Image.
Right. Well,
I
what
love
they
it.
did is they put there was something going on. I can't remember which, and they said the prime minister, you know, the puppet said, "Oh, do you know what? The British people are so thick. They follow. They're like sheep." Now, exactly the same as what's happening into your country. Your country is a great country, but it's just run badly. And if you've got, I mean, the British and spending, you know, $10,000, the £10 million to help the country out. Other countries are helping out as well. That's brilliant. But this geezer, right, is actually pulling the wool over your eyes, because if you're spending $8 million per year to travel, then there's something's wrong. Again, I'm just like to let you lot people, you know, people know that, you know, when he travels, it's not cheap. All right. And I know for a fact that when he went to Dubai, he stayed at the top hotel. Trust me, because I know, because, you know, I was living over there for 7 years, and I was married to very wealthy families. I can't say who, whatever, but trust me, I know for a fact that an average room is between £2,000 and £3,000 per night, upwards to 20 to 30 or even £50,000 a night.
My goodness.
So,
Wow. I can imagine
so
now.
well, I'm telling you, and when he travels on, you know, he might have travelled from to Grenada to America. That's first class. All right. Then he travels from America to Dubai, and that could be on Emirates. Emirates is not cheap. It's not cheap.
One of the most
Okay.
expensive, actually.
Well, it's one of the best airlines in the world, and I know for a fact because, you know,
You've used
the
them.
owner. The owner is the ruler of Dubai, put it that way. All right. So what I'm saying to you is that at the end of the day, your prime minister or your government at this moment in time is putting the wool over your eyes. And I just wish, you know, you have the Freedom Act. You can get all the information like we do over here. If we need information, we want to know what the government's doing, we pay £35 and we get the information, you know. But I'm going to be honest, I do feel sorry for everyone in Grenada, because you've got a healthcare needs doing badly. Your education needs upgrading. Your country needs upgrading, but your prime minister is not listening. I feel sorry for the people who in Carriacou and Pecnic because they're not being helped when the hurricane came. There's still people living in tents. I think it's disgusting. I think this geezer needs to be taught to be kicked out as quickly as possible because he's pulling your country down. And I'm sorry to say this, you know, nobody, could pull a wool over somebody's eyes for spending £8 million, $8 million on travel. I'm sorry, that is, I think your countrymen needs to understand this. And then what I'll do, I will find out some more information and I'll let you know how much things cost and everything. Because at the end of the day, because $8 million, come on, please. That's just disgusting. I mean, the Barbados Prime Minister, she only spent, 1.2 or 1.7 million in 7 years. And she just goes there and comes straight back. Your bloke, he goes over there and has a wonderful time and taking family to watch the cricket and everything else. Come on, please. I mean, the geezer's just lapping it up. I'm sorry. And I don't like the way he said it when he first came in, right? He don't like Paul. He actually said that on TV. And I thought to myself, how can you state that to, your countrymen? I'm sorry, it's wrong. And even our Prime Minister is a bit of a whatever, but, and the same as, put it this way, he's very, very similar to Boris Johnson.
I remember
All
Boris.
right. Well, Boris Johnson was a chancellor. All right. Your Prime Minister is exactly the same as Boris Johnson. All right. Boris Johnson spent billions, and I mean billions of pounds on COVID. Billions, and all those vaccinations got thrown away. He got everybody to pay. How can I put it to you? All the vaccines were thrown away. Billions of pounds worth, and all his cronies. Even when Boris Johnson got into power, right, he spent 200 odd pounds per roll to do wallpaper. The geezer was a nutter. Same as your geezer. He's a nutter. And I'm sorry, I love your country with all my heart. And I follow your country more. And I read Now Grenada and I listen to you on a daily basis and everything else. I follow you lot more than I do my own country.
Oh, goodness.
Because I think your country's a beautiful country. The people are nice. I've got family and friends there. All right. And at the end of the day, I don't like somebody ripping off somebody for spending $8 million on travel that he could travel, economy. You don't need to go first class. There's some British royalty travel and superstars. Some of them travel economy and they've got more money and sense. But your geezer is dying. He's travelling first class. And in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, or anywhere in the Middle East, it's always first class. I've never known any prime minister anywhere, right? I'm old enough to know, right? Is spent $8 million a year. I'm sorry, that's wrong. And I feel sorry for your countryman because he's put it this way, he's putting a wall over your lot's eyes.
Okay.
So
Koala, I'd like to thank you for opening the eyes of a lot of folks tonight. And I keep getting the messages that, hey, this gentleman is on point. And it's good to hear from someone who has actually been there and knows how the
I
system
lived there, and I
operates.
was married. I was actually married to one of the richest families in the world. So I know for a fact. All right. So what I'm trying to put across is, at the end of the day, spending $8 million on travel, and I think your young lady who is now the opposition, I think personally, she will win. All right. and I think she will win because I got a feeling, right, she will open everybody's eyes to see what's going on here, and I wish her all the best in every way she goes. All right,
Yes,
you've
indeed.
got my number. You know what my number is.
Yes, sir.
So,
I'll be in contact with
right,
you. I will be in contact
you
with you. You
can
can
always
make me sure.
contact me, Geezer, any time. But I will find out a few more little informations for your countrymen, and I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you so very much, caller.
All right,
You have a wonderful.
my
Well,
pleasure.
it's actually morning time there already, isn't it? So,
Oh, it's
good morning.
it's very how can I put it to you? It's very early in the
Yes,
morning.
about
It
after midnight.
is 2 o'clock in the morning, Geezer.
Yes, I know it is.
But
All right. So
I don't matter
I'll
because
be.
I'm always. But I will let you know more information as soon as I get it for you.
Okay. So we'll be in touch. Thank you so very much.
My
All
name
right.
is John. So all right, look after yourself.
Okay. Thank you very much, John.
All right,
Yes,
cheers,
indeed.
mate. Bye. Bye.
Yes, indeed. Folks, so you've heard it yourselves. You've heard it yourselves. You've heard what the type of prices we're speaking about. And remember, when the Prime Minister is traveling, he does not travel alone. So the Prime Minister is traveling. Obviously, he must have a security with him, one or two according to where he's going. So he will carry a security officer. That we have no problem with. Any head of government, head of state, they're traveling, they must have their security with them when they're traveling, even though the receiving state will provide additional security. They usually go with one or with two. As a prime minister, sometimes you go with one, sometimes you go with two according to where you're going. Outside of that, though, this prime minister is ensuring that everywhere he goes with him, he's carrying a personal secretary. For whatever reason, we don't know, but he finds it necessary to carry with him a personal secretary. Additional to the personal secretary on these trips are his personal photographer. Is it necessary to spend the kind of money that we were just hearing about there? To spend that kind of money per night and per flight for a person to leave Grenada with a camera to take pictures of the Prime Minister wherever he's going, knowing full well that the receiving state will have camera persons there? Do you think that the Saudi Arabian government or the Kuwaiti government or the Qatari government, that they will not have photographers when a senior government official is visiting from another country? They're going to have photographers, and so there is absolutely no need, and it is a complete waste to have a cameraman following the Prime Minister on his jaunts going all over to go and lime in these places. And so because during the period of the new National Party, you had delegations from Kuwait coming, you had delegations from Saudi Arabia coming. When you had to sign an agreement that would provide stuff for the government of Grenada, you would have teams leaving Grenada and going up and so on. But here's the difference too. In most instances, not in all, but in most instances, the direction from the Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, to the Cabinet of Grenada, the direction was travel would be on a needy basis. In other words, if you really need to travel, you would travel. And when you travel, there has to be some sort of benefit to the state of Grenada. You're not just traveling to say you travel, but there has to be a benefit to the state of Grenada. And we have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Good night, sir.
Yes, sir. Good night, brother Sheldon.
Hey,
Good night.
how you doing?
I'm fine, man. I'm good. I'm
Okay.
planting lettuce. I'm outside.
All right, you go right ahead, man.
Man, listen. This bloke couldn't say it better, you know. This bloke has opened my eye even more. I mean, I've read about it. I listen to the news. I listen to our programs and so on. And listen, you know, Grenadians, please. You know, we've been always saying that whatsoever is in the dark will come out in the light. And God don't like bad. God don't like no evil. You see? Almighty don't like evil. And I'm telling you, we are ruled by an evil force. Cockistocracy. Yes? We got to replay that word. The cocky people. To be honest with you, I believe we in for a serious rough ride. Because if this gentleman recognized that and he could expose that, because you see, we asking the questions in the parliament, we asking it on the telephone and the programs, and they just wouldn't tell us. So you think we wouldn't get to know? You really think, you authority I'm talking about, you really think that we would not have known your sumptuous life that you're living? Yes, we knowing it. We're getting to know it.
And Pastor,
And if,
here's the thing, eh?
yes, sir.
If it was a case that you spent $8 million and you came back with 800 million, we might not say anything.
Well,
We
of
might
course.
not have said anything, but you're speaking about not the year 1982 or 1981 here, where to get certain things done you have to travel. This is 2025 when a lot of stuff can take place via the internet. A lot of discussions
Well,
can take place via the internet.
well, look at COVID, brother. COVID has taught us so many different things, and so on. Look, the government of the day, NNP, they couldn't travel, and they did all the business on Zoom. Yes, all meetings and everything that they were having, it had to be on Zoom, and that authority lead this country as if they weren't at COVID. You see? So and I want my people in Grenada to understand that we don't hate anybody. But you see, if you say you're leading by the book and you're a Christian nation, well, why are you condoning wrong? You see? That's my question to you. People that say that you're spiritual and you're righteous. Huh? And you're going to church every Sunday or Saturday and you're preaching. Huh? But you're blinding, you're closing your eye, you're shutting your eye to our Prime Minister's sumptuous life that he is living together with his team, while people catching the hell outside here. Listen, people really suffering in this place. It's only a few people who are surviving okay in this country, Are the NDC big shots. They are the ones that surviving good, Huh? But they want to come bounce your shoulder whenever you talk about the party or the government, or because of the wrongdoing. They want to climb your shoulder. Huh? They want to climb on your head because you shouldn't say anything but joke you're all making. Listen. We pray God that we don't come like other nations. Well, look what happened in Dominica just recently. Huh? You remember that? Just recently, the Prime Minister just come out in Grenada here and threatening our seat, Northwest, threatening that seat. Leave it up to him. When his situation is stinking in the backyard more than rotten saltfish.
Yeah, they've arrested some 22 members of the opposition in Dominica. I think, it's about 22 members of the opposition that have been arrested there, including the opposition leader. Yeah.
They're gonna do that. They're gonna do that because you see, some team there in Dominica, they're opening them up. I don't know what Grenadian. We're real nice. Grenada real nice. Trust me. But gentlemen, we thank you so much. Thank you so much. And watch, they're gonna come after us. They are going to come after Grenadians who are talking up. They're gonna come. Right? But I want you all to know something. That it would be worse than the Haitian situation, if that's what you all want, it's gonna happen. Do not shut your mouths anymore. Open your mouth and talk about the wrong that this government is doing. This party, talk about it. Right? And they're working hard because they want to return to office. You all could do what you all want with the electoral machine or the list or whatever. Righteousness will prevail. Righteousness will prevail. You all stop that and behave yourselves and rule or lead this country in a modest way. Lead this country where everybody could survive. You the one that went in your rally and said, the reason why we get in, other persons get in is because we don't know who are the real NDCs. What kind of foolish statement is that? That's boyism. Listen, that is infantile childishness and disorder you're dealing with. You wanna talk about Maurice Bishop? To be honest with you, if Morris Bishop was here, you all might have been in jail already. You all might have been in jail. I'm telling you. And there are some, watch, Brother Sheldon, what gets me upset, is that there are some big men who've been involved in the revolution. Eh? They turn out to hate Morris Bishop. Eh? They turn out to plot against him. And that is what mounted up to his death and the entire cabinet. Or some of the same fellas, they're in the prime minister foot, you know. They're in the same prime minister foot, and he feel, listen, you're not safe among these guys. You're not safe. Yeah? Because they're power hungry, and so you trod in the same road. Or let's stop this thing. You're going to create problems in this country. Stop that. You just check how much millions of dollars you spend in travel. Yeah? While the people in Carriacou and the Matnik houses still on the ground, the majority of them living, as the gentleman said, and I mentioned that the other night, tore up tents they're living in. No roofs that they could get water.
Well,
Can you imagine what's going on?
I did show the other day, I did show what some 80-year-old people in Petit Martinique are living in. I did show a picture of that as well. Huh? So you're spot on with the tents.
Yeah, but look on what's the kind of foolish houses they're building there. Eh? You had $180 million that the former administration signed on to the CRIF, the insurance. So then people, if there is a disaster, that's what Kit Mitchell, the Honorable Dr. Kit Mitchell and the team signed on for, because when they look back and they see the ravage of Hurricane Ivan, they said, no, these wise men, they said, no, bro, let's sign on to this insurance for in case something like that happen again. Huh?
But not only that, though, but I think it must be understood that after seeing what happened to Grenada and Jamaica and so on with Hurricane Ivan, that is what created CRIF. So there was no CRIF before Ivan for Grenada to join. It didn't exist.
Well, that's true.
CRIF was created out of what took place in 2004 with Hurricane Ivan. So it provided that facility so that when countries, because remember, we had over 80-something% of housing destroyed in the state of Grenada. Destroyed. Yes. Agriculture wiped out. Tourism wiped out. So we were in a bad way. It wasn't a situation that you just had one part of the country. This was the entire island that was affected by Hurricane Ivan. We got a direct hit, center mass. So it was a different situation. So when I see folks trying to draw the comparison between Beryl, as bad as Beryl was, the lives that Beryl took, the destruction that Beryl caused, we understand all of that. But remember, that was limited mainly to Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and the northern part of the island.
Yes.
Ivan hit a center mass.
So that $180 million was more than sufficient. If every person, how many persons in Carriacou is about 7,000?
I'm not sure on the latest figure. I'm not sure on the latest figures for Carriacou. I don't want to call a figure and have the wrong one. I'm not sure on the latest.
Well, if you do the maths, each person could have received at least $25,000 comfortably to help defray some of their costs, you know. And they're talking about Carriacouian lazy. The people are so demoralized and so shaken up by this hurricane. See, they really don't understand what's going on.
Pass, what I would say in relation to what is taking place in Carriacou. After Hurricane Ivan, one of the things that was recognized, there was a team here from Trinidad. Remember, I played that some time ago, the Rose Foundation, right? When the Trinidadian soldiers and the people from the solid waste in Trinidad were here and they were putting back people's roof and helping different people. One of the stories from the guys were that they were putting on a roof for somebody, and when they take off the damaged roof, they saw a big strong fella lie down on a bed inside there. But then came the understanding that, hey, this guy is traumatized, and the people of Grenada were traumatized. So you want to get up, but you're so worried another hurricane will just come and mash it up. You're just afraid to move. So it's not a case that people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique lazy. People in Carriacou and Petit Martinique have never been lazy.
They've never been lazy. I
They've
mean, I
always
live up there
been,
for a year and months,
yeah,
and
always
these people
been,
are always on the farm,
yeah, and
doing
independent,
something.
multiple jobs, especially when you see the UK and the US. And so Carriacou people are people that have 2, 3 jobs, they're leaving, they come back home, they change, they go on to the next one, and so they're not lazy people. But the people of Carriacou have been traumatized by the
Of
hurricane,
course,
which is why we see what's
come
taking
on.
place.
And look at that. We had a minister who disrespect people up there, the police officers, and even those other regular folks, they are teachers and so on. But that disrespect and these are the kind of fellas that watch me, Grenadians. All you have to careful. We have to careful, for what we're asking for and what we want to take. Yeah, you have to careful because just as the Bible says that the children of Israel wanted a king, and it was dictated to them what's gonna happen in getting that king. And you see what happened. They send the children in war. The daughter's been impregnated, raped, and all kind of thing. But listen, Grenadians, please get up and don't vex with us when we are talking, because we are talking the truth. We are talking based on what our leaders are saying, And you still watch. There's a guy who usually called Mr. Pierre, Mr. Pierre, Mr. Pierre, Mr. Pierre. Well, I hear him today, but this guy is so disrespectful, and he don't even understand.
But
What we are trying to
let's not give him a platform on this side. We'll leave him
No,
on
no,
Mr.
okay,
Pierre's platform. We'll not expose
agree,
we'll not expose him to a larger platform. We'll leave him where he
yes,
is.
I agree, my brother.
Let,
Sorry about that.
let him dwell in his robes
Let
of
him dwell on that
insignificance. No, but
Yes, yes,
hear
yes,
it
yes.
perfectly. Let him dwell in
Yes.
his robes of
Of
insignificance.
insignificance. All
Yeah.
right, that's enough. Anyway, let me give somebody else a chance, man. Watch, but Grenadians, wake up, Wake up, because something is going to happen.
Yes, indeed.
Something is going to happen. If you want to come and pick me up for insurrection or what you call the other one,
No. Don't say that one, because next thing police reach in front of your door in the morning. So
no, well, I had the answer. No, I had the answer. I'm speaking facts, I'm speaking facts. I have the answer.
they're looking
And I
for
could point out to
excuse.
them. Yeah, I could point out to them the atrocities, the wrong that is going on.
We'll be careful though.
I am. Yes. Anyways.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, folks. 440-737-734-732-93-101. Those are the numbers for you to call and get onto the inside. I hope you all are hearing me properly. I just switched around the mic. So I hope you all are hearing me a bit better right now than you were hearing me before. Yes, indeed, folks. And remember, when the Prime Minister is traveling, he's not traveling alone. So you have a cameraman, you have a personal assistant or personal secretary, whatever it is, traveling with him. I realize on this trip, we also have the Chief of Staff has traveled with him. Outside of his Chief of Staff, he has the Mr. Nazim Burke. I don't know which portfolio he's traveling under. I know he's the head of the Oil and Gas Committee. So I don't know if he's traveling in that capacity. I do not know if he's traveling in the capacity as a local agent of the CBI program. I do not know if he's traveling in the capacity of a lineman partner of the Prime Minister. We do not know. Because we realize some of the people that are ending up on these ships is the lineman partners, right? You also, on many of these ships, you see Miss Andrea St. Bernard, the treasurer of the NDC, who is supposed to be out there finding business on behalf of Grenada. And as of today, the 16th of April, 2025, we are still waiting on a report on what people like Miss Andrea St. Bernard are and have been doing out there. We have a caller on the line. Let's go straight to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott.
My
Long
good,
time I ain't hear you, man.
my good friend, how you doing?
I enjoyed your program last night. You see, you see the difference between chalk and cheese?
Of
That is
course.
a sincere individual. Grenadians need to deal with sincerity than hypocrisy. I see that gentleman that called tonight talking about all these things. It's time that Grenadians open up their eyes to the reality. Wastage of the taxpayers' money. Wastage. How are you going otherwise?
I am good, man. I'm
You're
quite
good?
I'm quite all right. And sometimes You know,
Uh,
I've learned when I was younger that sometimes the best way to see something for what it really is to be on the outside for a while looking at that object. If you're looking at an object from the inside, you don't always see it
of,
for what it is. And
of course,
it's
of course.
interesting to get the perspectives of people who are not living in Grenada. It's very interesting when you hear their perspectives on the realities of what is taking place in Grenada. Yeah, they
It's
spend time
true, it's true.
inside, but they're on the outside, so they're able to see it from the outside, the more
Yeah,
holistic view of what is taking place
yeah,
instead of that narrow view. And I'm
it's
telling you,
true.
it's very important to always get those views as part of a discussion. So I'm glad when I hear
It,
people like the caller before the
yeah,
last and yourself
yeah,
calling, because you
yeah,
give
yeah,
a more holistic approach, a view from a
yeah.
distance, so if you could see us in our whole, and you can
Well,
understand better what is going on.
that is true, Mr. Scott. What I call about to that situation in Woodford. What really going on with that up there? Because it ain't fair to the people, that they come and just put up that and they ain't have no environmental assessment study done or anything. So, you know, I mean, I would think it's better to put it closer down than in where the is.
What I would
Push down some
say,
land down there and have it there than closer to where people is, because the gentleman that calling to your program at time, I think he is the same gentleman I heard on the bulb program, and he was talking on behalf of the people in the area. And when that whole thing start up, you be smelling like gasoline constantly, and they're gonna affect people's health in the long run. And I mean, I guess when you got the power and the money, you could do as you like in the country.
Gage,
But I wanna.
what I could say on it is this. I heard the statements of the Prime Minister in Parliament, I think it was during the budget debate, in relation to that particular issue. And if I can and pull from what he said, it seems as though the intent is to have that company come in and replace CCCI Caribbean. That's what CCC
Right.
was, to get them to replace that particular company. So they're looking to bring this company in so they can dump the other company. And then after making
Oh,
the threats that he made to the existing CCCI, the threats he made to them that they have to do certain things by certain time, otherwise there'll be consequences, is based on Renu being able to set up. But that company is having a similar situation in St. Vincent, the same thing that they're doing in Grenada, no environmental
yeah,
assessment, just doing thing.
yeah.
The
I saw.
same thing they're
I saw
doing
you
there.
showed some clips about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I
Well,
believe in their home country of St. Lucia as well.
yeah. But having a monopoly is not a good thing.
Yeah, it's
Having a
not a good
monopoly
thing.
in anything is not a good thing at all.
It's good to have options, but
Yeah,
it's the way that you go about bringing those options in. So it can't be
yeah.
that you just decide, well, them fellas look like, for instance, suppose it's a situation that that company is helping to fund the political activities of the National Democratic Congress. I'm not saying that's the situation. I'm saying suppose
I
that's
got
the
you.
situation. So there should be an open and transparent process of where other contenders can enter into the market, and there should be a clear process guiding where they set up as well. People can't
Yeah.
spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, even $1 million, to build their home and to develop the road and everything for where they're staying. Then you come and put something that gives them total discomfort for the rest of the time. They have to leave the place and move, or they have to sell it, or they have to be there in discomfort. It's unfair. It's unfair.
Exactly.
Yeah, but go
And
right
then
ahead.
the price will devalue as well, because if the people know that the circumstances there and you're selling a place because of health reasons, how you gonna get it sold?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you know what?
But go
That's
ahead.
somebody else calling and give
I thought you
a
were
little
about to
chat.
make,
But that,
I thought you were about to make another
nice to
point.
hear. Nah, I ain't doing too much talking this year. I'm doing more listening. even even in my own private life, I think I do enough talking to last a lifetime. And some people, their ears deaf, so it don't make no sense talking the same thing over people that don't want to hear. One day they will feel the pressure and their eyes will open eventually. I hope it will be too late,
Oh
but
dear.
it is what it is.
All right.
Anyway, enjoying your program, and congratulations to Miss Spear. And I am very proud of her, and I am happy to see You see, the same gentleman call and say that she is going to win. She is going to win. There's no doubt about it. Because this government is not doing what they're supposed to do. Just squandering everything. Oh, the point I want to make, a little one before I go. I wonder how Mr. Williams feels hearing, all the money and all the travel and all the luxury and the thing. And he is acting prime minister all the time and sticking at home and getting to go nowhere because PM flying there and he stick up in there. Oh, boy.
That's an
It
interesting
soon
one.
come to an end, though. As you said, Sheldon, the majority of time gone already.
Yeah,
The
it is.
minority coming.
It
Get
is.
yourself in order and do a thing. I enjoy your program.
All right. Thank you so very much,
Good.
baby.
Blessings, my brother. I love to hear you on Fadu, man. Fadu is a very intelligent guy.
Yeah, I know I'm going to hear him in a
Very
little
good.
while. I know Fadu is going to chip in
Yeah.
a little while.
You're going to soon call him. What become of Dwayne?
Dwayne. I'm trying to remember.
Dwayne. Oh, Wade.
Wade is there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Wade is there.
Oh,
But the thing is,
okay, yeah.
Wade has changed locations, so that's one of the reasons you
Oh,
don't hear
oh.
him as frequently. But he's there.
Okay. All right. Good,
Yeah, but
man.
he's changed locations from
All right.
one city to another.
Okay.
Yeah, all
Nice
right.
to hear you, Sheldon.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right.
Thank
Good,
you.
man.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wade, I've actually spoken to Wade about twice for this week already. Yeah, Wade is there, man. And folks, one of the things, and as I mentioned, the size of the delegations is one. In fact, right now, I think they have a large delegation out there in Qatar right now. I think the Prime Minister wanted to give a 5-minute speech. So you're telling me you couldn't sit in the office here in Grenada and deliver that speech online? He couldn't have zoomed in or some other encrypted network in and delivered that address that he has to spend thousands of dollars to leave Grenada to go there to deliver that address. And then I hear many of them trying to defend where he's staying right now. Listen, what we are saying is very clear. Anyone with understanding, anyone who wants to be decent, anybody who wants to have an open mind and understand what we're saying about the Prime Minister and the residents, they would understand what we're saying. Anybody that's just trying to defend, deflect, anyone that is just trying to muggle the issue, anybody that's just trying to sidetrack from the issue, to go on to the messenger and not the message, they would not understand, or they would not care to understand, or maybe they do understand, but they just don't care to give the impression that they understand. Yeah? What we are saying clearly in relation to the Prime Minister's residence, and I am my good friend Devon, calling with that on a morning basis and being attacked, and other people calling on it and being attacked. What is taking place with the Prime Minister's residence is wrong. It is wrong. The people of Grenada have a residence for, at one time, the Premier, then the Prime Minister of Grenada. The Prime Minister of Grenada has a residence paid for by you and I, the taxpayers of Grenada. We all pay, our children pay tax. When they buy the snacks, there's a 15% on it. When they buy the box juice and all those things, there's a 15% on it. So even our children are paying tax. So every Grenadian is paying towards that. We understand that, right? We're paying for a residence that is not being utilized, that no plans for development or relocation have been put forward, yet still, on a monthly basis, Grenadians continue to pay for the Prime Minister to occupy another facility, and while paying for him to occupy that other facility, the main facility, still being maintained by the people of Grenada, stands empty. Yeah? And then when you speak about that, some people come out with all their nonsensical arguments. If your son is part of the retinue of the Prime Minister, you expect us to take seriously what you're trying to defend? And I'm just making that statement as an example. You have all sorts of people, some of them so upset, they can't even get the words out their mouth, they're stuttering. Because they're so upset, trying to defend. What is happening there is wrong. Now, here is what. I personally, and I don't think anyone listening to this program would have a problem if it was a situation where the Prime Minister was renting this property and staying there as the Prime Minister of Grenada, and the present facility was being rebuilt and repurposed. That you made it as Trinidad, They relocated their prime minister for a while, and they rebuilt the prime minister's residence into a diplomatic center and so on, and they even built a prime minister's residence in Tobago, so that when the prime minister is in Tobago, there's a residence for the prime minister there, and different things like that. I found that one to be a bit frivolous, but anyway. So that at least you would hear that, look, we have these plans we're putting forward in the first year. We're putting $2 million in budget here. That's to draft the plans for the redevelopment of Mount Royal into a new facility. And we're going to add these amenities, and we're going to upgrade, and we're going to modernize. That's one thing. Nothing along those lines have been said. Nothing for the past 3 years. Nothing along those lines have been said. No ideas have been put forward. The only thing being said is that we fast. We're asking them question for the prime. If we expect the prime minister to live there, he must live other place. Prime Minister Tillman Thomas lived there. Prime Minister Dr. Mitchell lived there. I'm not too sure if Nicholas Braffett, I believe Nicholas Braffett stayed there and some other location. I'm not too sure on that one. And Ben Jones. So Eric Matthew Gary stayed there. Maurice Bishop did not stay there. We understand that was the revolutionary period, and we understand what took place there. But for you to just have the facility and not utilize the facility and not have plans for development is a slap in the face of the Grenadian people. Just saying to the Grenadian people, you feel better than everybody else. And as such, don't tell you nothing if you go and you rent a place for $20-something thousand a month. Don't tell you nothing about that. And if the issue comes up, there's all sorts of things to try and twist the issue away from that issue itself. No development plans. And that's the main thing about it. Not just that you're staying there, but that while you're staying there, there should have been something to bring Mount Royal up to standard so that you could stop staying there and spending $20-something thousand and go and stay in the next location and stay in Mount Royal instead. Yeah? Nothing of the like. But then again, that's what they like. 440-7377, that's the number. You can call us on the WhatsApp. Yeah, good night. Hey, I'm seeing some more people joining us. And we say a special good night. Remember to hit the like button and remember to hit the donation link. The donation, hit the donation link. Right? 440-737-734-7329-3101. Let me just see, I think there's a message here. Right, yeah. So, yeah, just hit us a message. Let us know what is going on in your neck of the woods. And folks, we have a situation that is a clear and present danger to the democratic system here in Grenada. Clear and present danger to our democratic system. You cannot have a situation where your voter registration system is disenfranchising hundreds of Grenadians. And right now, every child in Grenada that got to the age of 18, if they go tomorrow to be registered, they cannot be registered. If they go on Tuesday next week, because we know Friday is a holiday and Monday is a holiday. If they go next week to be registered, as far as we know, they cannot be registered. Because now, the software, from what I'm hearing, that guides the registration process has come to its end. In fact, in 2022, before the general elections, so the New National Party was aware of this issue. It was aware. Remember, it's not the New National Party that bought and brought in this software. This was done back in about 2009, 2010. Then Judy Benoit was the supervisor of election. Because I see some members of the NDC out there trying to push the narrative that is NNP bringing the electoral system. No. This system, while it was mentioned during the period of the New National Party prior to 2008, it was the NDC that brought in the new electoral system after winning the 2008 general election. Now, the company that produced the system, so the company would create software that connects all of the different hubs and the equipment that's being used and all of that. And there's a software that has to be updated over a period of time so that you could continue using it. The company no longer exists. The company does not exist anymore. Which means that right after the general election, Grenada should have gone into finding a new system for the registration and continued registration of folks. And let me hold on the calls for a short while. Let me just finish this. Yeah, sometimes I start the thought, and when I don't finish the thought, it gets lost. So let's just hold a little bit. I'll come back to the phone line. Yeah, I just want to get this one out of the way before I take a call and lose it totally. So I'll come back to the call. In fact, I'll call you back. Yeah. So what ought to have happened is that there should have been a new electoral system brought in. That did not take place. Yeah. So let me just play this for you all. I think
Advisor of Elections Elvis Moraine says the Parliamentary Elections Office will procure new software to expedite the process of renewing voters' card on conclusion of the 2022 elections. This forms part of the Parliamentary Elections Office's move to improve the electoral process. The procurement of new software is of top priority as a means of eliminating the need for prospective electors to reproduce documents to renew their cards.
I listen to the cry of the population relative to coming to replace the card and have to present all this document again. But that, unfortunately, that's what the system can allow, right? So we have to be able to get a system where we can upgrade your application, unlike having person to bring all the documents back again. So it's something that I think, in short order, we need to look at. There are some issues in terms of the boundary commission that we need to institute as well, not really office, but these are things that we ought to work on in the long term to make sure that the process and the system is one that all of us will be proud of.
The PEO remains committed to advancing service delivery and encourages patience throughout this process. Supervisor of Elections.
Yes, folks, and that what you just heard was from the 18th of May 2022. So it was still during the period of the new National Party. That was the 18th of May 2022. It shows that there was a clear understanding that the software have to change. Because the company don't exist that made it. In fact, I think that Grenada's software is most likely being updated by some guy sitting in a house somewhere who used to work with the company. And that again opens up the entire integrity of the program, of the process, of everything. So we need to have the new software. This administration came into office and for whatever reason, they could spend the 8 million or whatever on flights, but they could not find the money to put into the Parliamentary Electoral Office to ensure that we have a free and fair general election when the time comes. Maybe they want the system to be a broken system. Maybe it is better if the system cannot be updated for their purposes. Maybe it is better if there are bugs within the system or people are going to register. Maybe they believe that the people that are going to register they belong to a particular political party or they have a political reason why they're going to register that is not favorable to themselves. So they are trying as much as possible to ensure that the system is not put in place. This is from 2022. They came in June. This was in May. Which means after the general election, I am absolutely sure that the Parliamentary Electoral Office would have that discussion with the incoming government. And that discussion would cover, these are the challenges that we're having, and to be part of the electoral report on the 2022 general election as well, so that you would know that this has to be done. This government has ignored it. Again, and I say that because considering the volume of people who are now Grenadian citizens under the Russian intake, and now we have the African intake, during the period of the NDC administration, maybe they want the system to be just the way it is, broken. Because with a broken system, they can then inject at any point in the break whichever information they want in that system. We have to take this thing very seriously. We have to be looking at the voters list with an eagle's eye. We cannot afford to not be paying attention to what is going on with the voters list. We cannot afford not to pay attention to what is going on with the Parliamentary Electoral Office. This is a situation. You had people coming here, as opposition leader mentioned last night. You had people coming here, spending 3 days getting registered and leaving. 3 days, not even covering the qualification to be registered as an elector in a particular constituency. But spending 3 days and they're gone. Yeah? So we must be very, very careful. Listen, there's also, let me see if I can find this. There's a circular going around by the Cabinet of Grenada right now. And they claim to be doing a survey. Let me see, I'll have to move it like this so that I could increase the size. Yeah, so that they're doing a circular right now that's going around, right, from the office of the Prime Minister, the Secretary of the Cabinet, or the Cabinet Secretary, in other words, to all the others, where they're trying to collect information from all of the civil servants and asking them to also collect whatever information they can get. In other words, they're smartly doing a poll. And I know those of you within the public service, you've seen this. Yeah? So while they're claiming it's to deliver modern, efficient, and citizen-centric services by advancing Grenada's digital transformation program, yeah, they're trying to collect data, right? And that data would be things like your email address, if people still have email, your social media tags, all of these kind of things, is what they are trying to collect. So as permanent secretaries and heads of departments, you are uniquely positioned to champion this initiative. Therefore, a kind request is made for your full cooperation by disseminating the attached flyer with QR code widely throughout your respective ministries, departments. Now, when you scan a QR code, many things can happen to your device. Yeah, I'd see a lot of people go around and they just say QR code. That's the code they have on something and they just scan it. Yeah, so you don't know if when you're scanning that, all your information is going to the National Democratic Congress. You have no idea. Widely throughout your respective ministries, departments. And this is the dangerous part here. Apart from that, please encourage your staff to complete the survey and to share it among their families, friends, and community networks. Yeah? So they have done this. They have circulated this. And in my view, what they are trying to do is to get information using government that the party can then use. Now look, we had a situation where we had lots of information from the Imani program. Lots of information. We had the names, date of birth, all details about educational level, all sorts of things about young people. Yeah, people who applied to the program, thousands. The new National Party never had that information. If they had that information, maybe the situation may have been different now, because maybe they would have used that information to be able to contact as many young people as possible. But that did not happen. In this instance, what I believe the government is doing here is gathering that information. Yes, they're going to use some of it for government purposes, but I bet you any money, and I broke, so I don't have, but I'll bet you any money that information ends up in the hands of the National Democratic Congress when the time for election comes, which is now as far as I'm concerned. Because there are no guardrails. Let me repeat, there are no guardrails when it comes to this government in relation to protection of private information. There are no guardrails. You have government ministers out there boasting that they're knowing what certain people within the NNP talking about, and so when they're talking on their phones and when they're having conversation, government ministers telling media personnel that don't worry, we know where you're getting that from. And again, it is illegal to access the information of people on their mobile devices, etc., without their permission and without a written consent from a judge in chambers.
by a sergeant or higher. Yes, I remember the law because I was there when it was passed. A sergeant or higher would have to be the person that okays the interception of communication and that sort of thing. And it has to have some sort of criminal element to it. Not because all you want to macro. Not because you want to find out who is someone's girlfriend or who they horn and who with. And that's the kind of thing that this government is utilizing the state apparatus to follow upon. That's the kind of thing they're using to delve into people's personal lives. So when they get all of this information, you think they want to use, when you go and you scan your QR code and you realize your device has been compromised, this is not to help no governance. These people have already proven that there are no guardrails with them when it comes to these things. As such, me for one will not be passing on any information to them. Let me see if I can get that caller back on the line with us. I know someone was calling a short while. I just wanted to mention to be very careful in relation to the registration system and what is taking place, that we need to be very careful. Let me just get to the phone line here. Hold a second. Yeah, we have the caller online. Fadu.
Brother.
Where's the scene?
Ade. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. You cut and go through.
All right, so I like where you're going with that conversation there. But first, let me ask you this. If it is, let's say, you made a comment on your program, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone was able to prove that you were wrong in what you said, what are the procedures for that? You have to do a retraction.
No, I mean, in my case?
Yeah, like,
no,
yeah.
I always come on the program if I make a mistake and I say, hey, I said this and I was wrong. I don't have a problem doing that. If I make a statement and the statement is non-factual, I would come and apologize. And
come and apologize for it.
Nothing in that. You see, a big man. I know, look at child like some people who say,
your big man thing.
I see so and so mother, and the mother wasn't even on the island. I ain't like that. I'm a big man.
Still less.
Yeah.
Reason why I asked that, right? I noticed through the tenure of these individuals in administration, a number of things has been said that later on, if you play or you go back in something that was said before, you could prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, I haven't heard any, newspaper ask them to, make a formal apology based on individual stuff and based on personal stuff they have said to different people, based on things they have said about the government and how they're supposed to match. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard none of them because, my one say, no, I didn't say 500 houses. And then you see, oh, yeah, we did say that. They say, okay, we didn't say this. But then, yeah, actually, you did say that. There's nobody putting that in the forefront and saying, well, here you see, we could prove you wrong, How come is that's not an issue?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me that that's not an issue. I appreciate the compliments from the gentleman before. I try to keep informed. I like information. I love information, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up around Teen Summit, Knowledge is the key, show me the luck.
Yeah, man.
All right, so with the data collection thing, you remember a while back I was telling you that I realized we're going to go into a credit score kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the past, well, as I say, the tenure of the administration, the laws and the acts and statutes that they have introduced, it really diminishes the free will of individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the data collection thing, if you notice, one of the MPs, he was saying that when they had the hurricane, he got a Starlink phone from Elon Musk and them kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk is done with X, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's more or less data collection for the government. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So from what I'm getting from that, all the information is going to be shared between different platforms and higher ups because Grenada doesn't have a platform to store all this information. They don't have supercomputers here. Nobody has a business model that caters in Grenada for that. So clearly the information will be going out somewhere to some other platform. Mm-hmm. Another thing I would like to tell individuals that be selling, pictures and stuff on their phone, I guess that could be knowledgeable already, that when you send a picture to someone, it actually goes to a database first. And then it's sent to you, which means that somebody has that in the cloud or somebody has access to that in the cloud. You get me?
But not only
the
that,
information that
I think
you're speaking about the QR code.
folks need
You're
to
speaking about
understand
the
as
QR code.
well. Go ahead,
Huh?
go ahead.
You were speaking about the QR code,
Mhm.
and as you rightfully said, like a lot of things could happen with your device because you could write certain instructions within the QR code that you could exchange data. I could monitor you. I could do a tracking system on you. I could take you to what do you say, a call to action. There's different call to actions you could apply to that, right? So you're spot on that situation with what you're saying there.
What I
A lot
was
of
going to
people-
add to that, Fadu, is that folks need to understand that even receiving a photo, receiving an audio file, receiving a video file, receiving a PDF file, any of these things can be used to hack your system. The files can be manipulated, and in fact, there are instructions online how to do these things. And if you understand a bit about things like Kali, Kali and these software and so on, and you know what you're doing, you can attach a malicious component to a picture. So the person would see it's a photo, they download the photo to their device, and to them it's just a photo. But attached to that photo is a malicious component that then allows the individual to stay at their laptop or their computer, even their mobile phone, listen all your calls. They could view, they could even turn on your camera in the front and in the back. They could turn on the cameras on your device.
They can even talk for you, innit? They could even chat on your text for you.
Yeah, they can make calls through your phone like if they're you. And they also have access to every single file and app on your phone. That's why
on your phone.
People often say WhatsApp is safe. WhatsApp might be safe for WhatsApp, but if somebody hacks your device, they still have access to your WhatsApp and all your information. So
even with all the encryptions you could put, even to the wall-to-wall encryptions.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. So yeah, apart from that, as I said, it's like to me, it's like a bigger plan. As much as it seems, because all right, chaos. If you partake in capitalism, right? Chaos brings opportunities, right? So one of the gentlemen, he was asking him if he wanted to like extend a point, and what I thought he was going to say was if the land gets devalued, then it's okay now for a foreign investor to get the land for cheap. It's a land grab. You get me? So
the same people that are doing the plant there might be the same people that buy that house.
As I mentioned, as much as they talk about the rural parts in Grenada or the poor communities have very scenic lands, right? Waterways, waterfront. You know, like they stay in some areas that traditionally, like over the world and that kind of stuff, it wouldn't be like that. They will be normally be more desolate kind of places, but the lower income individuals have the better spots. So the best way to get that is to devalue it, and then you come get it up. It's a land grab. And the way they're doing that, as I say, with chaos, you get opportunities. Yeah, because one, you could be like a missionary, and think about that. People take over the world in 3 M's. Yeah, the missionaries. They come and they're like, oh, yeah, you know, hands that serve now. No disrespect to that group, but, you know, I'm just saying, like, using that as a reference. Then they come in with the merchants. Because after they recognize the pain and stuff that you're going through or what struggles you have, they could recommend stuff. So they come in with the merchants. Then they come in with the military, because the military now have to protect the merchants and the missionaries. You get me?
So they come and they tell you, they come and they tell you, hey, you're a pagan, you're worshiping a pagan god, and you shouldn't be naked, you should wear clothes.
Start out.
Oh, we should wear clothes.
And then
who goes selling the clothes? Yeah, and then when the person making the money selling the clothes, they say, well, okay, no, we need to protect the person. So we need some soldiers here. Yeah.
Start out. That's how that go. You get me? So I keep asking the question, is Grenada for Grenadians? Because you have to remember, one, we strategically located around the world. As I say, like central, yeah? That's one thing.
Shipping lane.
Two now, we have some of the best atmospheric, the air. We have some of the best air in the world. We more or less pure. Hence pure Grenada. I prefer spice.
In fact, at one time within the last year or so, I think we were rated for the best quality air.
Yeah. So put it in this point, right? So people get head start because more or less they enslaved a lot of people. So they make money off the backs of people that they enslaved, right? So they had a head start for over 400 years, head start, right? Now they present buildings because they present a structure and tell you, here, see, to make it, you need to come out here and explore over our avenues. They create these buildings. You pay like what, sometimes 2,000 in rent. I think the average might be like 1,600 in rent, right? These same individuals now, no disrespect to anybody, you know, but these same individuals will come here, buy lands, house, properties for cheap, right? The same money that you paying in rent, this is what they invest in here and enjoying your life. You get me? They enjoying your paradise, fam, better than you could.
It comes close to what we were speaking about sometime last year with rent, as there were certain people that would only rent to CBI.
CBI.
Yeah,
and
there are
they have the
certain
better
people.
figures from.
Yeah, there are certain people with nice properties, scenic venues, etc. in Grenada. And even if you are Grenadian and you have the money to rent there, they're not renting you.
They're not giving.
Only CBI.
CBI SGU.
Only CBI, yeah.
Point blank
CBI
period.
SGU, yeah.
CBI SGU from. It's mad.
Fadu, I ain't more final five.
You know what?
I ain't more final 5 minutes, so we got to wrap in a little while. But go ahead.
All right, hold on. I just want to ask one question or a suggestion.
Go ahead.
You know, you ever heard of what is it? No score with underwriting loan? You ever heard about that?
No, I can't say that I have. I'm not aware of that.
I would like if it is that the PM could work on something when she come in the power to master that. Like people is like, for instance, you could pay rent, and if you pay rent for a certain amount of years, it's like it almost gives you the credibility to say that you could get a loan in it.
Oh, you mean like how the US system has your credit score? Your credit
because
score.
more or less they're moving into a US system right now. That's what we have in here. So that could be something that could be explored, especially for the housing and stuff. Make people get some things, you know, easier.
Yeah. Fadu, we're going to continue the conversation tomorrow night, God's willing.
Yes,
All right, brother. You have a best one.
You too.
Yes, indeed. It's my boy, Fadu. Yeah, folks. And very interesting points on these different issues, including on housing and so on. And we will have to do a program on housing very soon. We have to do one on cost of living very soon as well. Yeah, we have to go more thematic on some of the areas over the next couple of weeks. And so we will be discussing other areas, especially with what we know is coming. I've seen today the Shein website. I've seen they circulating a message from them. They're giving people up to the 27th because one, they're going to stop the free shipping. Before you would shop on Shein, you buy your items, your clothes, your sneakers, whatever, and you could ship it to a family member in the US, and that family member would either, when they're coming down, they bring it for you, or they send it down via a barrel or a box or whatever to you. And so it has gotten to the stage now that, remember, these people facing 120-something% tariffs and so they will not be able to keep the prices of the items that they have on stock right now at the same price. They will not be able to do that. The shipping costs in entering the United States are going to significantly increase as well, which means what you used to get for a look of $5, you might find yourself paying $12, $13, $14, or even $15 for, when you factor in the shipping costs and the tariff. And it looks like every other day the tariff going up, because China saying that and America saying that, and the war keep going back and forth. And while the elephants are fighting, the grass with the ants is who getting trampled. And we just happen to be the grass and the ants. We getting trampled. So we have to keep an eye on what is going on. And that's just one example. We need to understand as well. We speak about production in the Caribbean. We speak about factories in the Caribbean. We speak about having our own self-sufficiency within the Caribbean. Understand something. The machinery in the factories in Trinidad, the machinery in the factories that packing rice and all these things down in Guyana, the factories with the juice in Barbados and St. Lucia and up in Dominica and over in Jamaica. All of these factory equipment, guess where they come from? China. Guess how they come? You think they just send a ship straight from China to Jamaica, or ship straight from China to Grenada also? No. They send them to Miami and then they come down here. So even with producing for ourselves, unless we can for ourselves produce the equipment to do the production, we are still going to be severely affected by this situation with the tariff war that's taking place, the economic warfare that's taking place. Because the equipment that we have to use to become self-sufficient still comes from China. Yeah? The superconductors, the chips and so on that are used in the electronic equipment, they come from Taiwan and from China and from the United States and all these places. But those three places, as far as I know, China does very little. Taiwan is the main company for those things. And the United States has an enterprise. They own most of the companies that are doing it in Taiwan and so on. Yeah, but guess what type of vessels being used to transport it to the United States? So all of these things, yes, it's good to talk about producing within the Caribbean, but equipment that are being used in the Caribbean to do the production still comes out from China. The replacement parts for those equipment in SM Jalil and even down to Angostura, all these places in Jamaica and Trinidad and all over, these equipment are coming from where? China. So the cost is still going to be on us and it's still going to affect us. Folks, we have a serious situation that's facing us that we have to seriously consider what we are doing. We cannot have a situation that when the opportunity comes for us to correct what is taking place in Grenada at this point in time. So as some friends in another island would say, to right the wrong, that when we have that opportunity that it is stolen from us, because you have political activists, people who are supposed to be registration officers, going and openly taking part in political activities. Like if the island of Carriacou can find an impartial person to be a registration officer. Yes, you, Amanda Jack, are talking about. Yeah? And yet still, you're still waiting to hear what the Governor General is going to do in a situation like that. And outside of that situation, now you have the registration system itself down. These situations must be addressed. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. I want to thank each and every one of the callers. Every one of you have been sending your messages. All of you that have been listening, I'm going to remind you all again, donations, right? All of you that have been calling, all of you that have been listening and helping in whichever way, we want to say a thanks to each and every one of you for being here with us tonight. And indeed, it's always a pleasure being here with you. And in everything you say, everything you do, do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. And tomorrow night, we'll be having our final program for the week, Holy Week this week. Our final program for the week will be taking place tomorrow night. We will not be having a program Good Friday on Friday night. It's a Good Friday. Line with your good family, go and see your good friends, spend some good time in church, and then come home and spend some more good time with your good family. We're Talking Points on Friday, God's willing. But we will be having our program tomorrow night, God's willing. We didn't get a chance to deal with the Imani issue tonight, but we're going to try to deal with that issue tomorrow night. So folks, that's it from my end. Love each and every one of you. Do enjoy the rest of your night tonight.
My soul says yes, says yes, say yes. My soul says yes, says yes to your will. Come on, do you know it? Just sing it with me. My soul says yes, says yes, says yes. My soul says yes, says yes to you. Where you lead me, I will follow. When you call me, I will answer. Oh my Lord, please teach me how to know your ways. Can I take it again? Where you lead me, I will follow. When you call me, I will answer. Oh my Lord, please teach me to know your way. Whatever it takes, whenever you want, what moment you choose, whatever.